Diana Estell, no coincidence, also lives in Romeoville, probably at the same place.
She doesn't like a mess on
And apparently gets really pissy if you lose your umbrella. Diana has been writing since she was a child, but has pursued a professional writing career for the past 7 years. She writes fantasy and science fiction, and tonight she's going to read a deleted chapter from a book that she is publishing. The book is called Abyss of the Fallen, and the chapter is called The Well of Soul's Desire. Wowzers. Diana.
Just a really quick thing. This is a deleted scene, and when you ever work with editors, some things just get deleted, and it's a little bit of a sad thing. So I thought for this night, I'm going to resurrect it. It may come back, but if not, it'll at least have a life today. So, hang on, I just got a text while it did that. Okay. My printer is not working. Okay. The Well of Soul's Desire. 2,300 years ago. Dagon, a half-angel, half-human man, was on a quest. Like all quests, you need to be prepared. A half-burned-out cigarette dangled to the side of his mouth. Diffused puffs of smoke shrouded his pale blue eyes, cloaking the deep desire of his soul. With nervous energy, he rummaged through his trench coat, his fingers pushing this and that out of the way. Unconsciously or consciously, he pulled out a worn-out copy of the Iliad. He wasn't in the mood to read, but yet he couldn't put this book back in his coat. Going with the fact that everything has a purpose, he indulged himself with memories of his hero, Alexander the Great. The Iliad was Alexander the Great's book on warfare, seemingly giving him a big advantage on the battlefield over his enemies. Alexander the Great was not afraid to die, though some of the men around him were. These men moved cautiously, killed cautiously. Alexander accepted the fact he would die, and thus made quick, genius decisions while risking everything on the battlefield, which would give him immortal glory. Besides a dagger, this book followed Alexander the Great on all his military battles, and both of them were placed near his bedside. While, hang on now, I gotta roll it up. While holding on to the book, Dagon recalled one of the journeys he took over the centuries of his long existence. The year was 328 BC, and Dagon was in Delphi, Greece, the very place where the Golden Land, or Earth, was supposed to meet. His goal was to visit the Oracle of Delphi, who he believed, now hang on now, okay, who he believed to be a fraud, but hoped she would offer him some information when he would meet his beloved. So in a long line, in the hot baking sun, Dagon waited to ask the Pythia the title of the oracle. The Oracle of Delphi was a shrine dedicated to Apollo, and the Pythia was his earthly mouthpiece to impart divinely inspired answers to the patrons' questions regarding their fortunes. The hot sun of the day was relentless. In the long line, moving in body-aching slowness. To pass some time, Dagon told a parable to a few of the patrons standing next to him. A priest came upon 3 men who were gazing into a well. The priest told these men that this was the Well of Soul's Desire. The priest asked these 3 men if there was something their souls desired. Yes, there are things that we desire, replied all the men. The priest then asked the first man what he desired. Okay, now hang on. To be the wealthiest man on earth, said the first man. Then the priest gazed into the well and said, your desire is granted. However, to be the wealthiest man on the earth, you must give your money away. The first man then stared at the priest in stunned belief and left mumbling to himself, how can I be the wealthiest man on the earth? By giving it all away. I desire that well to dry up. Then the priest asked the second man what he desired. To have fame and glory, asked the second man. Then the priest gazed into the well and said, your desire is granted. However, you will soon die." The second man walked away in disgust at what the priest said and said, "I will die soon? How was that fame and glory? I also desire that well to dry up." The man was seen walking away carrying a spear and a shield off to battle in search for fame and glory. Now the third man looked nervous when the priest asked him what he desired. The third man pondered all that was said to his friends, then spoke, "I desire to have the water of life pour forth through me so I can live forever." Then the priest told the third man, "Your desire is granted." The third man did not hear the priest say, "However," at which time he smiled and gazed into the well, whereby the priest pushed him into the well, and a loud thud could be heard as his body hit the bottom of the well. Next, the third man was consumed by all the water in the well, and the water poured forth from him, bringing water to all. Now the priest marveled at this, and yelled down to the third man and said, "The well sees the heart of men, and granted these two men their deepest desire, and thus the well dried up. But you have it all, wealth, for the giving of water, fame and glory, for people will come near and far to drink from the wonders of this well, and your desire to have the water of life pour forth for you, and live forever. Though you meant your desire not for good, good it will be, and forever you will live." The patrons were speechless and applauded Dagon, but Dagon held up his right hand and said, "Ah, I must give you the meaning of this story. The first man wanted to be the wealthiest man on earth, but he knew not about what true wealth was. So the priest's words were but a curse to him, and his deepest desire was known, the drying up of the well, thus denying others happiness. The second man wanted fame and glory, but he knew not the cost of fame and glory. For to gain it all, you must risk it all, while knowing full well your death cometh soon. This man wanted to live long and reap the rewards of fame and glory, without paying the price for the immortality of it. His deepest desire was also known by the drying of the well. The third man was yet wise, for he thought before he spoke. But like the previous two, his heart was his judge, and he was found guilty. Yet the judge pardoned him and let his life bear witness to all. By the giving of waters to all who thirst, his life will then live on forever. A constant reminder to himself for the price of selfishness and the solution for it. Again the men in the line applauded Dagon and told him what a wonderful story that was, and he must tell the others in line. Dagon waved his hand and flourished with a bow and thanked them. Right? I'm so sorry, this is crazy. When he spoke, "Apollo has no powers, but go ahead, step right up and have your fortunes told. You never know, one of you could become the wealthiest person on earth. Have fame and fortune, glory, or we could be drinking from your waters, toasting a cup to you. Goodness knows I could use a drink right now. It's hot out here." The men were again speechless, and their eyes were a little wider at their storyteller's words, but they remained in line. They wondered why he was in line, as they shot him skeptical looks, while the gold lightly jingled in their hands. As the money moved between finger and palm, ready to leap out into the greedy hands of the priest, whose soul's desire is wealth, fame and fortune, and not water, but wine. All the expense of the poor souls, who they were waiting in the hot sun, eager with a desire to hear their fortunes told. Slowly this procession moved on, money dropping and men meandering through a small narrow path which led into a temple. Along the path, statues were seen by the paying customers, tributes given by the wealth of others in honor of Apollo. Dagon was finally next in line, and he deposited his gold coins and laughed. He then meandered through the maze and was shocked at how much money was flaunted here. Brazen priests stealing from the public in their own pockets and temples. He then was shown into the area of the temple where the Pythia resided and where wisdom was granted from Apollo, Dagon asked the Pythia when he would meet his beloved. If Apollo was real, Dagon thought, then I shall have my answer. The Pythia began to speak, her words given to her by Apollo, her words sounding a little bit like mishmash. Dagon, finally a priest translated the Pythia's utterance. If time is moving, then why are you here? For your answer lies beyond, not far, but near. Dagon was miffed at this priest's translation with its double cryptic meaning. When on the way out, Dagon told one of the customers still waiting in line, "What a business, this double meaning or no meaning is a sure way to get the money flowing back again and again, for the customers would now see clarity or some other sort of meaning." The man just shrugged off Dagon and said, then paid his money and began working his way to the shrine. Dagon's mind then was brought back to the present as he pondered the story and the timing of it. Whatever the reason, Dagon would find his beloved, protecting her and dying for her if need be. Maybe the story was just a reminder to be brave.
Thank you. You see why the apple does not fall far from the tree. Very good.